Welcome to Trending Update USA. This is Steffan, and today I am bringing you one of the most powerful and historic stories to come out of Melbourne Park as American women's tennis explodes back onto the global stage. At the Australian Open 2026, Coco Gauff, Jessica Pegula, and Amanda Anisimova have led the United States to shatter a 10-year national record, announcing loudly that a new era of American dominance is no longer a prediction, but a reality unfolding in real time. For the first time in a decade, the United States has placed an unprecedented number of women deep into the second week of the Australian Open, and the story behind it goes far beyond simple match wins. This is about depth, belief, resilience, and a generational shift that has been quietly building before finally bursting into full view under the bright lights of Rod Laver Arena. At the center of it all stands Coco Gauff, still only in her early 20s but already carrying herself like a veteran leader of a movement. Gauff arrived in Melbourne not just as a Grand Slam champion, but as a symbol of American consistency at the highest level. From her opening match, it was clear that this was not the Coco Gauff of potential and promise, but the Coco Gauff of authority and command. Her footwork was sharper, her serve more reliable under pressure, and perhaps most importantly, her decision-making reflected a player who understands how to manage 7 grueling matches across 2 weeks. Gauff's early rounds were efficient rather than flashy, and that was the warning sign the rest of the draw may have missed. She conserved energy, avoided unnecessary drama, and turned moments of danger into quick closures. By the time she reached the 4th round, her confidence radiated outward, lifting the entire American contingent with her presence alone. Players talk often about energy in the locker room, and at this Australian Open, that energy was unmistakably red, white, and blue. Jessica Pegula's role in this historic run cannot be overstated. For years, Pegula has been one of the most reliable performers on the WTA Tour, yet major breakthroughs at slams often slip just out of reach. Melbourne 2026 has changed that narrative. Pegula arrived with a calm intensity, seemingly free of the pressure that once weighed heavily on her Grand Slam campaigns. Her baseline control, flat ball striking, and improved net play turned her matches into chess games she consistently won. What makes Pegula's contribution to this record-breaking moment so vital is her steadiness. While Gauff brings the spotlight and Anisimova brings the emotion, Pegula brings the assurance that every opponent must earn every single point. In match after match, Pegula absorbed pace, redirected power, and exposed impatience. Her victories were statements that American tennis is no longer built on one superstar, but on a system that produces complete, adaptable athletes. Then there is Amanda Anisimova, whose journey back to the top has been one of the most emotionally compelling stories in tennis. Once labeled a future world number 1 as a teenager, Anisimova faced setbacks that tested her love for the game itself. Injuries, mental health breaks, and the crushing weight of expectation nearly pushed her away from the sport. But at the Australian Open 2026, Anisimova didn't just return, she roared back. From her first match, Anisimova played with freedom, striking the ball with fearless aggression reminiscent of her breakout years, but now paired with maturity and patience. Her backhand down the line once again became one of the most dangerous shots in the tournament, and her willingness to step inside the baseline put even the top seeds on the defensive. Each win felt like a personal victory, not just against her opponent, but against the doubts that once surrounded her career. Together, Gauff, Pegula, and Anisimova formed the core of an American surge not seen since the era of Serena Williams' dominance. But this time, the story is different. This is not one legend carrying the nation alone. This is a collective rise, built on shared belief and mutual respect. Off the court, the three were often seen supporting one another, exchanging encouragement, and celebrating victories as if they were team events rather than individual battles. The numbers tell a remarkable story. For the first time in 10 years, multiple American women reached the quarterfinals and beyond at the Australian Open, breaking a drought that had lingered since the mid-2010s. Analysts had long questioned whether the United States could produce consistent slam contenders in the post-Serena era. Melbourne 2026 has answered that question emphatically. This achievement also reflects the evolution of American tennis development. The current generation blends athleticism with tactical intelligence, mental resilience with adaptability. Gauff's speed and defense, Pegula's precision and composure, and Anisimova's explosive shot-making represent three different paths to success, all thriving simultaneously. That diversity is precisely what makes this group so dangerous. The Australian Open itself played a role in amplifying this narrative. Known for its demanding conditions, extreme heat, and unforgiving schedule, Melbourne tests players both physically and mentally. The fact that so many Americans thrived under these circumstances speaks volumes about their preparation and mindset. Recovery, conditioning, and match management were as crucial as forehands and serves, and the Americans excelled in all areas. As the tournament progressed, international media began to shift its focus. What started as individual match previews turned into broader discussions about American dominance returning to women's tennis. Commentators noted the confidence with which American players walked onto court, no longer chasing the standards set by others, but setting it themselves. For Coco Gauff, this moment represents validation. Years of scrutiny, expectations, and comparisons have shaped her career from a young age. At this Australian Open, she didn't just perform, she led. Younger American players spoke openly about drawing inspiration from watching Gauff handle pressure with grace and determination. Leadership, after all, is not declared, it is recognized. Jessica Pegula's resurgence at the slam level adds another layer to this historic run. Often underrated, Pegula has now proven that consistency on tour can translate into deep major results. Her performance sends a powerful message to players hovering just outside the elite tier. Persistence, refinement, and belief still matter. Amanda Anisimova's return, meanwhile, resonates far beyond tennis. In an era where mental health is finally being discussed openly, her success stands as a reminder that stepping away does not mean stepping back forever. Her fearless tennis in Melbourne has reintroduced her as a legitimate contender on the biggest stages. What makes this record even more meaningful is its timing. Women's tennis is deeper and more competitive than ever. There are no easy draws, no guaranteed wins. Every round presents a new challenge, making the American achievement all the more impressive. Breaking a 10-year record in this era is not just a statistic, it is a statement. Looking ahead, the implications are enormous. The confidence gained from Melbourne will travel with these players through the rest of the season. Rankings will rise, expectations will grow, and opponents will prepare differently when facing American players. The psychological shift alone could define the next chapter of the WTA Tour. For fans in the United States and around the world, this Australian Open has delivered something special. It has reignited belief in a system, showcased the power of perseverance, and reminded everyone why tennis remains one of the most compelling individual sports on the planet. As the sun sets on another unforgettable day at Melbourne Park, one truth stands clear above all others. Coco Gauff, Jessica Pegula, and Amanda Anisimova have not only broken a 10-year record, they have opened a new chapter in American women's tennis. And if the Australian Open 2026 is any indication, this chapter is only just beginning. This is Steffan, and you've been watching Trending Update USA, where the biggest moments in sports don't just make headlines, they make history.